tuned into the Hi There Show, the most UXinist, designist vlog in the universe. I am your host, Nick Brunt. I am joined, as always, by my co-host, Ian Conrad. Ian, what is up?
Hello, Nick. Yeah, I'm just
I
thinking about all these experiences that we've been
yeah. Did you have
having
any
and
good?
that we have to talk about
Did you
in
have any good
design.
user experiences this week?
Oh, I've had a
How
couple
was
of
your week? What is up? I
I've
feel
had a
like I haven't
couple of
talked to you all week.
I know it's been a busy one. I've had a couple of experiences, pretty big ones actually.
Oh,
One of them is the experience that
hmm.
we've both had, we've shared, not at the same
Hmm.
time, but we got our COVID vaccinations this
Oh, we
week. That
did
was an
get we yeah
that's
we
an
got
experience.
the jab. That was definitely experience. I did mine like in the back of a back community room in my local grocery store, which I thought was an experience
Oh,
for sure.
neat. You get to see where they store the things that you buy.
I did. I get to see sort of the dust and the storage and sort of speaking of experiences, I get to have this sort of frightening feeling, going down cold, dark hallways toward my destination.
Is
But I
this?
did get a shot. I got Moderna.
Oh, neat. I got Pfizer.
What did you? Cool, Pfizer boy.
I wasn't sure, but then it was, yeah, I didn't know what I was gonna get. But then it was on my thing somewhere, and it's on my vaccination record or whatever. We're pro vaccines here at the Hi There show. By the
We are
way.
pro-vax, pro-vax, like aggressively pro-vax here at the Hi There Show. I accidentally selected on my questionnaire, when
Your
I applied
screener?
for the appointment, my screener, when I filled out the document, I accidentally clicked, I forget what the statement was, but the sentiment was like, I'm concerned and I have questions about the vaccine.
Oh,
And
interesting.
so this poor lady was like approaching me with like sort of, this very concerned look. And she brought it up and said, so it says here, like, you're concerned about taking the vaccine and you have questions. And I was like, oh my God, no, no, I'll take anything. I don't even care what it is.
Yeah,
You can mix the ends of 2 or 3 tubes together. Just get that spicy stuff in my arm, please, immediately. And they did. So that was great. And then I bought beer after, and that was a fun
Hmm.
experience.
Did you
So
did you have to wait around
did I what?
after for your
Yeah, I
few
had to do the
minutes?
15 minutes. Yeah, there was a teenager with like a bunch of gear on sitting there again in the grocery store. So I was sitting next to the bakery, which was pretty cool. I looked at those tasty treats for exactly 15 minutes and then I left. Normally, with my flu vaccine, they're like, hey, can you like kick around the pharmacy for 10 minutes? And I'm like, I'm out.
No, I
But
can't.
this felt like a big one.
Well, usually they do them in shoppers, so like it's like you can sit here like an idiot or you can go buy some of our great products. And so I usually buy products.
Yeah, products are pretty good. I mean, if you're sitting there for 15 minutes looking at products, you're going to buy one of
How
them.
can you not? They sit you right in front of like the discount aisle where I used to get my flu shot. Just random stuff at really low prices. I got some toothpaste and some
Yep.
ant traps for like 99 cents.
Not bad.
Random,
Both
but
things
a
you
couple of
needed,
things I needed. Yeah.
and a vaccine. Did you have any side effects? I woke up tired.
My arm was stiff and I got really tired yesterday night.
Yeah,
And I didn't sleep
I
well
don't
either, but I don't think that was vaccine stuff.
I slept great, and then I woke up and was just like, I feel like I haven't slept at all. I don't know if my partner even believed me. I thought she might thought I'm milking it. But that was it. I woke up fine, and now I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool, and the vaccine is great, and 5G is great, and Bill Gates is a cool guy. We should all just like leave him alone about this whole affair thing. Is how I feel after the vaccine. So you get a vaccine this week. We did. A couple of our other friends did. What was your other experience this week? I feel like you had a big one.
Oh, that big one. I purchased a home. A home.
Oh,
That
no
one?
shit. Yeah, it's funny. No, because there was another
Oh
one, but yeah,
shit.
you closed on your first house.
Yeah,
Congratulations.
first and last probably. These prices? Yeah, I did that.
Oh,
That's an experience actually. It was very interesting. Um, First time obviously doing it, so I don't know what's going on there. And
no, you're just like
luckily,
terrified. Sign the documents.
when there's when people are making money like that, You're surrounded by people that are helping you. It was pretty good, I would say. I did very little, and yeah, it's pretty good.
Now it's yours.
I would say that the most it got me thinking a lot because I had to deal with a lot of different people,
Hmm.
realtors, bank people, different different bank people too, like three different people. Um,
Yo, that sucks.
yeah, they were okay, but it was um, and then
Yeah, talking to
lawyers. You got to deal
people,
with
new
lawyers,
people, you're explaining all your
and
financials to them.
yeah, lawyers is interesting. That was the most. There's the place where there was the most room for improvement in experience for me would probably be dealing with the lawyers. Um, they were not
How long
very
until that's a
they
thing?
were not very proactive, and I feel like basically like they have a flat fee for doing like this was a condo I got. So they'd have this flat rate for like condo closing. They do all their legal stuff that they have to do, right, which is necessary. But I figured like for something that they do regularly, they would have had like they could have copy and pasted like emails to me. Like I figured, if it was me, I would have had like
Yeah.
here's a bulleted list of all of the things that you need to do and when. And because I just had to keep asking them questions like, what do I do now and what's next and when do I need to do this by? Those are all known, considering it's all of that stuff is kind of already known and in place. And considering it's like they should, and they probably didn't, and this is kind of the empathy side of user experience that is really hot that everybody talks about. And if you say that in a job interview, you'll probably get the job. Um,
Hmm.
that's that's worth 50% of every 50% of the points in a UX job interview is saying the word empathy. So a
Okay.
little
Yeah.
hot
Yeah.
tip
Yeah.
there. So, but I was
Yeah.
thinking, if it was me doing this, I would be thinking like, all right, this person's buying a house. It's very expensive um, thing to do, and also like it's something that's really important. Like you don't, and it's probably something that most people aren't familiar with, at least, and especially their first time. It's not something you're going to be an expert. Probably most people aren't experts on the legalities of buying a home, even if they've bought one or two. Um, and yeah,
Yeah.
if it
Well, do
was
you
me,
want to
I would
be?
have just been like, I bet like this, this guy might be a little bit nervous that everything's going to work out okay. So maybe I'll like put out a list, just write a list of things like, hey, here's what you should do when this is, wait until this happens, you're good to go. Um,
Mm,
and then the stuff they
so you
asked
gotta
me
go in
to,
there like the maybe try going a different angle and being like the big dog. You know, I run this transaction, and then you make a bunch of decisions, and those people cater to you because you're paying them.
it's like, hey, can you do this for me?
Hey, you know what? Just get this house sold. See ya. Carvana exists, so you can like buy and sell a car without ever speaking to a person. Is there like a house version of that? Is there an app that I can just like buy a house
I
without
think that
being around people
I
or
know.
interacting with officials,
I mean, I was buying it,
of
so
any
there
sort?
there wasn't much going on. But I mean, you can do this stuff. Usually, when they say like do it on your own, it's like skip the realtors, but you still need a lawyer. Um, I,
Yeah,
I
well,
I'm trying to think.
it's which is brutal because you're just getting signatures and checking transactions and stuff like that. It's not.
I'm not sure. Like, I'm not 100% sure if it's like no, it's you need a lawyer. A lawyer needs to do this. I think there's some stuff a lawyer has to do, but some stuff that they don't have to do. Like they pay the people for me. I give the lawyers the money, and then the
Hmm.
lawyers give the other people the money. And
Well,
something,
that sounds like way too much entirely. We were actually going to help you move, except we're in lockdown and we can't. So that's a you thing.
yeah. Well, I ain't moved. This is my third pandemic move, so I've decided that I'm gonna hire people to move my stuff for me.
That's a good experience.
Because that ain't. Yeah, it should be interesting. I've never had movers before. I've moved more times than anybody else that I know. Um,
I think you hit an age in life, an age in a salary bracket where you're like, I'm never going to do that again. That's
well,
that's my right. That's what I've earned.
especially like a
I
month
won't do that.
ago when I needed to make these arrangements and everything else is going on, I'm like,
Hmm.
I'm gonna take this one pain in the ass thing moving and give it to someone else. I'm gonna remove it from my life completely. Packing sucks. The next thing, the real luxury would be to hire someone to pack your stuff for you. But I'm assuming that would cost a lot of money
Uh, but it
because
costs a lot of money and like trust.
that's the thing. Trust. I wouldn't trust
Like
anyone
they have to go
unless they were
through
like very expensive.
like
Uh,
sort of like they're so high end and famous for what they do that you know they're gonna like touch your underwear correctly
yeah, and
with
like I want
respect.
someone that's like so good they look at me and like maybe think that it wouldn't be a good fit to work with me because I'm like below them. That's I think that's what I need. I'm having trouble. I'm
Oh,
stressing about
okay.
the movers. I'm like I hired these
Oh well, they
people
don't
to.
give a shit. They just pick up your boxes and like whip it in the back of a truck as hard as they
I
can.
know
That's what
that's what I'm
movers
afraid
do.
of.
Nah,
It's
it'll be
just
fine. Just bring your TV by yourself. Your TV and like all your computer equipment and your Xbox in the back of a car
I'll just pack
for
it. I'll
sure.
pack it well. I mean they ship that stuff across the world,
That's fair.
so yeah,
That's fair.
that's an
So that's
experience.
pretty cool. You also, I don't want to like blow the reveal here, but you also got a new job in the UX field,
Got a new job.
UXing.
Got a new job. Yeah, more on that will come, but it's yeah, it's a different role
It's a
in the
time of
UX
upheaval,
world.
so that's a cool week. I just worked a bunch and I'm on lockdown with kids, and it's off. It's great. It's off.
Yeah,
Fully
I've
great.
been packing, yeah, and doing stuff. I haven't worked actually done work this week. Anything
That's
what's
pretty
new
cool.
in the world of work, design, UX? Anything cool
Is there
we know
anything
about?
cool? Did anyone have any conferences? Microsoft did some sort of conference. Microsoft conference. I'm not typing this into Google. I have some sort of more futuristic interface that I made specifically for the show. Build 2021. What happened in Microsoft Build 2021?
What did
Probably
happen?
nothing.
I really like these colors you got going on here, by the way.
Yeah, no, I'm working a little something. I want to change it up. You know, our brain's kind of not as fun as I wanted it to be, so this could be like cooler. A unique
Fun.
vlog about design. Let's capture everything, you know?
Vlog. Is this a vlog?
It's a vlog. What is going on in UX? What?
Is this a vlog? I guess so.
No, I don't think this is a vlog at all. This, I don't know. When my friends ask me about it or we're talking about it, it's like a podcast, isn't it? It's like a podcast where we draw because they
Yeah.
don't understand like the YouTube streaming thing.
Oh,
Maybe.
I don't know. That's what I tell people. I'm like, yeah, I stream on YouTube. I have a YouTube channel. And they're like, oh,
Yeah,
do
that's
you have an
pretty cool though.
audience? Yeah.
Nah,
I mean,
yeah,
yes.
technically. I mean, technically, yeah, we do have people. I wish they would reach out to us in chat. Also, smash that like and subscribe and every button. Say hi all the time.
Yeah. Tell us your app ideas in the chat or
Tell us your app
website
ideas.
ideas.
Well, speaking of which, I'm excited about app ideas here tonight. I think this could be a fun direction for us to explore. Because I mean,
I'm
usually when we're together, we spend our time, sadly enough, riffing on app ideas, writing little pitches, in our mind, getting things ready, kind of prototyping them. And I thought it would be fun to read user submitted app ideas. And then, we can use our sort of UX wisdom, our combined, decades, I think, technically, of design experience to make something out of them. And so,
I like it.
if I have your attention, I would like to read some user submitted app ideas to you that we can discuss.
Drum roll. I want to get that
And then
soundboard going.
I think a fun sort of goal for an episode would be to make a creative brief. We're calling it a creative brief, or I don't know, like a design brief.
Yeah. All right.
That could include any manner of UX apparatus like user stories or sitemaps or graphic designs or wireframes or whatever we think sort of sells the idea. Like, we want to get it there. That's our goal. Maybe
Yeah,
that's our
let's
goal.
put some meat on it or whatever they say. Flesh it out.
Oh, let's put some meat on it and flesh it out. You
Put
know, people
these
have these ideas, and people usually throw them off because they're, you know, completely fucked and undoable. But I think that we can bring some attention to
Yeah,
them.
let's
You know,
grab a hold of one and, you know, spend
I
time
love
with it.
that. I love that. Like a weather balloon with a big rope on it. We're gonna grab a hold and go.
Yeah, people are just throwing these ideas around and it's like, no, 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 let's get it.
Yeah,
Let's
so let's like take a minute here.
and then have a go at it. Like let's pretend someone paid us for, I don't know, 1 hour's work.
Okay.
You know, not,
Well,
you
hold
know,
on.
but
Maybe
that level of
that's our
seriousness.
credo here is that everyone is our client. The internet is our
Oh,
client.
everyone's our client.
Everyone's our client. All our viewers, you're a client. We're going to treat you like a client. You get the client experience, which is a certain amount of respect and good documentation. All right. Can I lay one on you? I
Let's
thought
do it.
this was a really good one. All right. This was submitted to our app ideas. So if you're ever looking for hot app ideas, I would go to Reddit, the subreddit, our app ideas, and sort by new because there's some real good ones on here. This is submitted by Reddit user Boston Jomo. This is a couple days ago, so hopefully nobody's already snagged this company and bought it. Scan barcodes and reveal the owner of a company.
Ooh.
I.e., scan a barcode to determine if a product is owned by Nestle or Monsanto or other corrupt companies so you can put it back. Or simpler, just type the name of a product in and have the owner pop up. Maybe add in a score for how corrupt or what the general consensus of the corruption of the company is.
Hmm.
So,
I see. Oh, that's interesting. Okay.
right. So, I mean, similar to QR codes, there are barcode scanners out there. I think I want to be able to, you know, I want to scan my toilet paper. I want to scan my toilet paper, my Kirkland toilet paper, and find out who the fuck Mr. Kirkland is
Hmm.
and where that money's coming from and where that money's going.
Yeah, are they
Do you know what I
funding?
mean?
Yeah, exactly. Are they
Who's he
funding
funding? Are they connected to, I don't know,
terrorist organizations?
terrorist
Tyr
organization?
tyr tyranny?
Tyr-
The tyranny of
Tyranny?
terrorism somewhere?
Uh, yeah, like I want to know. I want to see a picture of their face. I want maybe like some CSI looking biometric data associated.
Okay. I like when you first said scan my brain always goes to like the problem, like what's when someone has an idea, I'm like, what? Why did you think
Mm-hmm.
of that? Because when I heard of barcodes to reveal the owner of a company, I'm like, why? But you know, this one had like an interesting idea. It was because they want to see if they want to know if they should buy the product. They want to know if the owner. I thought they meant like the
Yeah,
owner, like the CEO for some reason, but they mean like the parent company to try and tell if they're
the
ethical or
parent
not.
company. It did say owner. I mean,
But yeah, that's what they mean.
who owns Nestle? Who owns Nestle? I want to see that guy's
I was
face on my screen. I
right.
want to
Okay.
know. I want to know who's corrupting me with my toilet
So
paper
it
immediately.
should ladder up to like the parent company, but then also show the person too. You'd probably want to know
Maybe
both.
it could. Maybe you could do sort of like a criminal hierarchy. You know,
Oh yeah.
like
Yes.
this store has been distributed by this product has been distributed by Costco, and it was sold to Costco by like some sort of Bolivian cartel, and they got it from someone else. Like, and then that goes all the way back to, I don't know, who's the CEO of Nestle. CEO of Nestle.
It's funny. I
Maybe we
thought
should know
Nestle
this.
too. I'm like, I bet if you did this, like, there's like 5 companies that own everything, and Nestle's one of them. Unless like Procter and Gamble owns Nestle or something. Is
They
there
probably do.
is there someone above Nestle?
Is there someone above Nestle? Hmm.
But I think that's cool
Who
too,
owns
because it's like,
Nestle?
hey, you could look at a
Is it Jesus? Does Jesus own Nestle?
maybe it's probably if it's got to be someone powerful. I think because like you could look at a thing like there's you know they do these brands right
Mm-hmm.
where it's like sure like there's Kirkland and then it's like it's probably owned by someone and you might stop there
Mm-hmm.
but there's always like that hierarchy where you go up. Um, So there could be like Kirkland is owned by like, I don't know, some other company, like Toilet Paper Incorporated, and then Toilet Paper
Yeah.
Incorporated is owned by Procter and Gamble, and then Procter and Gamble is owned by Nestle, and then you know what I mean? I wonder if it'd be.
Hmm.
I'm kind of thinking my personal thought, and this might not be what our users want, is that it would be. I'd want to see like the chain of ownership.
Yeah, I want a chain of ownership. I want to be able to scroll through. I want to get their corruption score they'd mentioned in this idea, which I think is a great idea.
Wait,
Sort of
corruption
gamifies it.
score? Did they mention
Well,
that?
okay. Maybe.
I just wonder
Maybe
is
add in, hold on, and I quote, because this is Boston Jomo, this is like some serious high level
yeah.
design shit. Maybe add in a score for how corrupt or what the general consensus of a company is. I don't think we need to worry about general consensus. I feel like we need a hard value for just how corrupt people are. Like this guy is 17 corrupt.
Yeah, yeah,
And
it's
this
got to
guy's
be
12.
we got to make a number. I thought maybe there's like a service out there that rated companies like, oh, Nestle gets an
Mm-hmm.
F. But I thought maybe it existed because there are things that like rate companies like that, but I think this person means like they want their own like special corruption score that's related to like how corrupt.
Yeah.
So we have
Yeah,
to.
we would
It's
the app would totally dictate that entirely. I
doesn't
think.
exist yet.
Based on, I mean, we could aggregate data from like news articles. We could build a whole sort of AI backend that's sucking in all the information about that individual. In the case of Nestle, it's Ulfmark Schneidman.
Mm.
Ulfmark Schneider.
Oh, the Schneiders are involved. Schneiders
I
is a company
wonder.
that owns stuff.
Yeah, they make things. They make meats, deli meats. So that's pretty cool. So I'm thinking we pin that, we get through a couple of ideas, and then we can maybe look at one that we're going to prototype.
I think that's cool. I'm interested in this one. So you mentioned like the brief. The first part of like the briefs that do you have like a preferred like a design brief or creative brief that you do? Mine is always like I start with like the problem statement in like a job story format. That's what I'm drawn to. I'm just trying to start to think of a way to start this off here.
I don't know if we should limit ourselves. I don't know if we want to wear the shackles of a brief. I feel like we want to make a brief type of thing where you feel free to use any apparatus that you want.
All right. I'm going to take a
Like not a
stab at getting I'm going to try and make a statement from this user's head. And we can't really verify because we can't talk to Jomo, but so it's like
I'm standing in Costco and I want to know how morally corrupt this toilet paper company is. I'm so sick of my toilet paper companies being corrupt. So apparently Kirkland is owned by Costco.
yeah,
It's Costco's like
it's their
brand.
brand.
They're just like, we need a thing to put on stuff that doesn't say Costco. But it makes me wonder, what are the Kirklands? Like you have the wetlands, you have the wildlands, you have the woodlands. What are the Kirklands? It sounds horrible. That's a good user statement. I mean, that is what that's what the
this
idea
is what they want,
positing.
right? I feel like
Well, I
if we
think
can
toilet
capture
paper
the
is a good
problem,
sort of, yeah, and I feel like toilet paper is a good demo product because everybody needs it.
I guess
I mean, we can power that with your phone's camera. We can make this app happen, and I have some thoughts on it.
I like the Costco bit, but I guess I would generalize this more and saying like when I'm looking at when I'm considering
Mm-hmm. Oh, mm-hmm. In Costco, looking at toilet paper, I like it.
I want to
I wonder
know.
if there's some sort of like markup. I guess brackets work that you could use to say like this is a context clue, or maybe that whole box is labeled in Costco looking at toilet paper ... when I'm considering purchasing a product. I mean, I'm just saying briefs are paper thin. Oh man, we're skyrocketing up the charts
Hey,
right now.
you know,
I love it.
I have a fun factoid that I'm 90% more 90% or more sure that it's true.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But Costco used to be Costco was a merger of, was it called Costco to begin? There used to be another company in Canada called Price Club, and they joined with another company to create Costco. I don't know if the other company was called Costco and they just kept that name, but it was the merger.
I have no idea, but I recall, and this is in the recent past, being like super excited because, by the way, we come from a relatively small city in Canada on the Eastern Shore. When Costco was coming to town, it was like take to the fucking streets, like flip a cop car over. Costco's coming. This is going to be so dope,
This is
and it
gonna
is.
be good.
And like toilet paper, you get your coffin's worth of toilet paper
Mm-hmm.
and you shove it in the back of your car, and it's a great user experience.
That's one
Okay.
of their top selling products. Oh, and the fun factoid was like the Price Club was the other version of Costco. And it
Yeah.
sounds like, oh, it's like good prices. Price, I think it was Price Club. Anyway, it was Price something. And you're like, oh, yeah, because their prices are cheap. But it's actually like, was like the guy's name. His name was like Mr. Price or something.
What an asshole.
What a,
Can you
like,
imagine if I started a company called Nick's Club?
or
Actually,
Brunt Club? I would
Front Club, Ian's Zone, Ian's Grocery Zone. I'd shop there.
shop at Ian's.
All right. I'm going to pull up a new idea here. This is from user. Damn, this is probably already sold. A new social media app. I just
That's
had a
it?
random app
Oh,
idea. I just had a totally random app
totally?
idea
It was
pop into
totally
my head.
random?
Totally random app idea
Okay.
pop
I
into
hate
my
those
head.
somewhat
A
random
new,
ideas.
yeah,
It was a little bit
a new
random.
social media app. I don't think this has been done ever. The idea is that the only content you can post is links to news websites or articles. It would be targeted toward niches like getting all the news. All right.
Uh,
I would likely ban any political posts as dealing with stuff like fake news and polarization would be way too difficult. I can envision three different ways. Either users create profiles like Instagram and they post news as the curator, or like Reddit users can create categories that anyone could submit to. Or the simplest solution would be to just have tags that you can follow tags and search via tags, etc. Just have tags. Hey, Ian,
just have
just
tags?
have tags. Yeah, just have tags. Actually, tags are a very powerful navigation tool. So I guess when I think news social media app, I'll fix your type here.
Did they say Instagram? But
A news. Yeah, like Instagram, they post news as the curator. I'm actually not familiar with Instagram having any news in it.
no, unless you
Um,
take a picture of news.
you could take a picture of news, be mad about it,
So
I
it's like,
guess.
is
Maybe
it
that's
like, is
news
it
of the
like
future.
Apple News or like it's like a news app, but instead of being a news company that publishes
Well,
it, it's like, it's just user generated. So kind of like Reddit news a
well,
bit
so
or something.
so here's why I picked this. Here's why I picked this one because, as described, they don't want to ban any political posts as dealing with stuff like fake news and polarization because it would be way too difficult. So I sort of see this as taking, and this could be a business idea. I sort of see this as taking like the most just abject fucking garbage parts of Facebook
Mm-hmm.
and then siphoning those off into their own app,
Yeah.
right?
Okay. Because I was going to say it's
Where
going to
we just,
be terrible content.
oh God, it's
Okay.
just
Yeah. Yeah.
unbelievably,
It sounds,
unbelievably
it sounds
terrible,
unusable.
sort of, unusable, mind-sucking vacuum. It'll fuck up people's lives. They'll like leave their families. The cults will form. But we want that because it's happening on Facebook. So we take that whole chunk of the audience and we move them out to their own app. And then they do that there, right? And the wheel spins and we take the money. We just take the money off the top. We skim the cream from the shit wheel that Facebook News would get us.
Hmm.
Does that
So
make sense?
it sounds like that sounds like a very
I
not
mean, easy to
altruistic, but
design,
like
maybe.
it's almost like diverting. It's almost kind of like giving those people like a spot where they almost like a padded cell where they can't hurt other people, but they don't
Exactly.
even
Sort of like
know.
a echo chamber. They don't even know.
They still have
They're
the
welcoming
rights
it.
to say what they want. It's just other people can't
Anything you
see it.
want. Specifically in this place, you can just, as long as it's a news article. The idea is that only content you post is the links to news websites or articles. So, I mean, right off the bat, you need some sort of system that decides what is news and what is not news, which gives us a lot of power to manipulate, the message. Um, which is that's handy, I think, in terms of making money from news. It would be targeted towards niches like getting all the news. That's definitely a niche. Every bit of news.
All the new, like you've read all of it. It's nothing. No, there's nothing. There's no more news. It's just old.
What it spits out is like a PDF you can download, formatted like an old-timey front page newspaper, but it's all the news. You can read it for 10 years.
All the news.
No banning of fake news or political takes. That's probably pretty good.
Is that what
I
they
mean, maybe
that
we
what they
should.
mean? Or like political? Just no banning anything. It sounds like. Do they?
Well, hold on. I would
Probably
likely
horrible.
ban any political posts, as dealing with stuff like fake news and polarization would be way too difficult. I'm sorry, I misinterpreted. This user, Wandering Cat
Oh,
1456, is saying no political posts. So all of the news except nothing that involves politics or the government.
huh.
Do
Okay.
you know what? Holy shit. I'm coming full circle on this idea, dude, where I want this app.
Hmm.
Absolutely no politics, just give me the news. But users have to post it, which is kind of a problem. Maybe like an aggregator would be
Yeah,
better, something that just like scrapes all the news,
you don't need people posting it. Yeah,
That's just Reddit. Is that
exactly.
not just Reddit? It's just a moderated Reddit forum. Our news.
Yeah, it's almost like an aggregator with certain filters on it. I
But
wonder.
again, we want to borrow that garbage Facebook crowd. We want to move them out of there. Maybe even call it like Facebook News, the app, and you just charge for the app. All right, that's our second idea. I want to get through these before we hit the halfway mark here.
Okay,
I've got two more.
cool.
This idea is from Reddit user Dan Zecca 1 month ago.
Z.
This one's definitely be Danny Z, my boy. I don't know Danny Zecca.
No.
Twist on maps. An app that would allow users to draw, edit, and change maps. So I sort of see this as like a
Why?
Google Maps that everyone's allowed to change.
That's all the info?
That's all the info, man. That's high level thinking. You don't get more than
A
that.
twist. That's
It's a
definitely
twist on
that's
maps.
definitely a twist. I would say being able to completely change like a map. That's a twist.
Yeah,
You go to
totally.
your map and it's not correct. I would say that's definitely
You're
a
allowed to
twist.
you're allowed to draw, edit, and change maps. So maybe you could change the landmarks or whatever, but drawing to me says, I'm gonna forge my own path. Maybe I don't like these roads.
Yeah, maybe I don't like the shape of like Nova Scotia, for example. It's if you zoom in
Mm-hmm.
on it, it's very bumpy along the edges. Maybe
Oh,
just smooth
I
it out a
hate it.
bit.
Yeah, just maybe you could just simplify path on that one.
Yeah, like
Just
it's got
just
to be a pain in the ass in real life, and then keeping that up to date on the maps. Like I'm sure, yeah.
well, no, it would be like wiki style. Like you would zoom into Halifax and people are just allowed to edit it because
Oh,
it's
okay. That's interesting.
So I think we're
There's
talking
no
like
like
a
why.
Google interface.
I'm trying to think of why you would want that. I understand the other two.
Look, man, Dan Zecca has been pumping out ideas for a long time.
He's like, wouldn't it be fun
Check his
to,
account history.
it's like, it's maps, but with a little twist. You can change them.
It's like a little twist. Well, actually, the first commenter says, like Google My Maps, which is Google where you can edit your own
You can
maps.
put your own
That's not what
stuff
Dan
on them.
Zecca is talking about.
Mm. No, Dan's like, no, you fucking bozo. I know about
No, but
that.
we can all no, but we can all edit it.
Mm.
That's the answer to your questions. That's the answer to your beratements in this case.
Okay.
All
All
right.
right, we can all edit it.
I got one more. I got one more, and I've been thinking about this all the fucking day long and how fun it would be. This is not an app. I know this is maybe a little outside our comfort zone, but it's worth considering.
Okay.
User Sneaky F says, Harmonic, a harmonica version of a harmonica version of a rock band style game that you play on your phone.
Oh wait, harmonica version of
a
rock band?
harmonica version of a rock band style game on your phone. So I feel like the only way that that's really going to work is that you're holding your phone flute style.
Yeah, like the Ocarina
The
app.
rock band, the rock band cascade is coming down in front of you, like in front of your face, and you're modulating the breath with which you blow into the microphone.
Yep.
Holy shit. Would you get a sneeze button? Man, that's unprofessional.
Yeah, I did. Had it
Do
installed.
you actually have a sneeze button?
I have a mute button, but the problem is sometimes it doesn't mute, and it also the sound of pressing it is so loud it sounds like to people listening in headphones, it sounds like they're getting punched in the eardrum. It's a really bad feature that shouldn't have made it past round one of testing.
It's like an old timey mechanical sneeze button, like it's Kerchunk who shakes the desk. So yeah,
I'm just seeing.
harmonica.
I'm like, if I hold this up, can I see my screen? And the answer is yes.
Like enough that you could.
There's worse apps.
Wait, hold on, but you could put finger holes up the side of that screen, and you could play like trumpet. Maybe it's Trumpet Hero. That's got to exist.
You'd have to have things where you. What do they say? Harmonica. Oh, harmonica would be hard because harmonicas you're supposed to do this, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think we need to kind of pivot on this idea a bit because a harmonica would be this, and that doesn't work on a phone, but this does.
I would think the only way to play the harmonica.
I want to make this.
That'll never not be funny. We can make this app. I looked up Trumpet Hero iPhone, and there is in fact an app.
That was too good of an idea. Someone already did that.
No, someone already did that.
We could make a better one.
So we're coming up to the halfway mark here. We are going to take a 5-minute break to all of our adoring fans. What do you want to? What's the moneymaker here? I feel like scan barcodes is good. I really like News social media app in terms of the garbage mill that we make money from.
Mm-hmm.
But it's probably barcodes, isn't it?
Twist on maps, I don't understand that enough, and I don't know the problem that we're solving, so that would be... And I think it would just be whatever we make is just too hard.
I'm going to message that guy and let him know that you're upset with him.
Yeah,
so.
You can... Yeah, send him my way. Give him my email.
Ooh.
But, well, yeah, let's mull on it, and maybe we'll get a couple fans in the chat with their ideas of what we should do. And
yeah, let us know
if you have
your own ideas.
If we don't agree with it, we'll pretend we didn't hear from you, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, totally. It's a painless transaction. We won't judge you. We just won't answer, and then that's fine. All right, are we gonna throw it a break?
All right, yeah, let's take a couple-minute break, and we'll be back in a few to get started on one of these amazing app ideas.
I love it. We are back. We're here. We're ready to design. We're ready to go. We have taken polls across Twitter, Insta, doing a lot of polling here this evening to decide which one of these things we're going to design. I think it's probably scan barcodes and reveal the owner of a company. That's looking like the winner. Just whoosh, got them right out of there. They exist, but not in this reality anymore. I'm gonna get rid of this cool title card. Actually, I'm gonna make it a component and put it aside. Sorry, I'm into fiddling with components. Create component. Bam, now it's in our library forever. Get out of there, I gotta swirl everything up. All right, back to the thing we're designing. All right. So scan barcode, reveal the owner of a company. We have our sort of like high level, this is a title, I guess. We understand the problem. I want to know who the corrupt fucker is that's selling me my toilet paper. I'm imagining this happens on a phone. This is a phone experience, right? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be kind of weird to, like, if we had like a desktop app and you took your MacBook. Okay, yeah, no, well, it could be a responsive website. Websites are apps, are they not? Are you? Yeah, fair enough. And that's it. Nothing else. I feel like every company's tried to make normalize using apps on their platform. Like I know Apple certainly has. But there's still when it's on my laptop, it's a program to me. And I know that comes from like we've been using PCs since we were like little kids. We're way old, but it's still a program. A program. Don't mind me, I'm just making some iPhones here. So, one of the immediate problems I have here is we have a typical barcode. And a typical barcode, as far as I know, is storing the values at the bottom, like written in text, because computers couldn't interpolate them at the time, and lines made more sense. So I feel like if we're including a barcode with a hyperlink in it, that we should maybe look at expanding on what barcodes are. Or maybe it's way longer. Maybe it's just a huge barcode. Well, I mean, it's relevant for the app because we do need to take a picture of it. You got to scan it. We're gonna have to talk about the format, I think, of the barcode. A much more complicated barcode. All right. I would imagine it's experientially is a lot like a QR code, right? Like we're gonna use our camera on our phone. So our service you would scan a barcode and that barcode would link to a link on our service that would have information about that company. So we're going to have to store the information about those companies. I guess. Yeah, let's get right to implementation, baby. Let's craft this thing. I've already got, my coding programs open. How am I doing for Zoom on the stream? Okay, I don't like too bad. I'm good. Like I always say, why flowchart anything when you can just design it right away? Why bother? So where do you? Yeah. At some point. So flow your charts. Flow your charts. When I'm considering purchasing a product in Costco looking at toilet paper, I want to know how corrupt the owner of the company is so that I can decide to buy it or not. Amazing. Well, I think that's where we get to the corruption score, because what if somebody has like a positive score? Like they're a philanthropist, they're like a very good dude. For the sake of gamification, this would be something that would require a lot of discussion, actually. I think that a high number is more corrupt. Yeah, because that's what feels good, I think, to the person who, like, I want to find out how corrupt this asshole is, and that's the number that feels good. If it was low, then you have to get into a limit. So then you would have 100% good, and what's 100% good? You could get into negative values. No, I think it's higher number, and sky's the limit. Well, I think we're going to get that. Well, I mean, no. Nowadays, when you're scanning QR codes, you don't actually have to scan them. You just hold your phone in front of it, and it will get it. I'm thinking it opens to the scan. I don't know. Does it force you to log in? Is there like a... Maybe there is a login. Oh my god, I keep pulling my headphone in my ear. There we go. Hi. Because we want your data. Like, there should be... Do you know what I would think? What if you could scan, but you also kept the UI for the app on the screen? So that's sort of weird. Like when you open a camera screen, you expect it to be a full camera. Can I duplicate this object inside a component? Ah, Figma. Well, no, it's I'm working inside of a component, but I can't I'm having trouble duplicating this item. Maybe I have to do it at a point level. Maybe weird. Anyway, I would want people who download my scanning app the first time to be able to use it right away. So I don't necessarily want a barrier to entry. I want them to be able to begin scanning, but at the same time, I want to have UI there to show, hey, but if you sign up, there's cooler things. Yeah, I want to use it. And then yeah, it's like Shazam. Shazam does it. When you open Shazam, you can immediately start Shazamming a song. Um, can I just? Yeah, it Shazams, and it also like will publish to your. Can I like pull apart a component? Is there an easy way to do that? Can I just like Control Shift Z, Control Shift G? Yeah, like unlink. What if I just pull these layers out of the component? Okay, that did it. Man, that's brutal. Come on. It seems like once you're editing in a component, it starts to cause a lot of problems. Or I guess those would count as one shape. Anyway, sorry, I'm trying to make our camera radical. I wanted to handle like a group though. Like, anyway. Definitely. Well, I mean, who is the Mm-hmm. To me, the CEO is the guy that matters. Is it not? Well, I know. Who's beyond CEO? I guess owner? But an owner would be a corporation. Does any of this work? Yep. No, I said that. Like, I want to see sort of a step up chain of what these people have done, of who they are. That's a good point. Uh, or maybe it's more. Yeah, I know you could. You could. So you know, you get a scan of a company. Sorry, I'm making the shape in maybe the most brutal way possible. I'm getting used to Figma's drawing tools. Yeah. Um, you get a corruption score, you get the chain up the line, you get links to articles. So maybe that corruption score is generated by aggregate data. So we create a Lambda function on a server that just sits there all day long, like scooping up data on all our favorite CEOs. Who's your favorite CEO? Right? Name one fucking rich person. Name a CEO. Name one. All I can think of are those horrible people from like Dragon's Den or Shark's Nest or whatever they're called. Shark's Nest, Eagle's Brood, Snake Pit. Step into the snake pit. Yeah, just the worst. And it's some bro dude, and he's like, I made smart condoms that connect to your phone. And then they embarrass him off stage. Hmm. Okay. I very abusive. No, yeah. I've seen and done horrible things, and now I pay my employees a living wage. That's what Jim Treliving sounds like. That's my Jim Treliving. Follow me. I do improv impressions on. I hate to talk about this kind of Americana, this kind of Trumpian nonsense, but that MyPillow CEO guy gives me the heebs, man. As far as I can tell, he's like a conspiracy theorist. Yeah, that like really got involved. He really got in there. He's like, I have some fucking ideas. I'll tell you who's cheating you. He's horrifying. If I didn't know who he was or what he did, and I was standing in a room with him, I would feel uncomfortable. It's like that kind of dude, like like your junior high friend's abusive dad. Who are good CEOs? Oh, we've known good CEOs trying to do cool things. We've known good CEOs trying to do cool things. I actually know a couple that I guess we can't mention or don't want to, in amongst all the swearing and shitty language. They're the chief operating officer. Who's above a CEO? Who's above a CEO? Well, what about chairman of the board? CEO versus president. What's the difference? Who's more powerful? Well, the president is second in charge. No, we figured that out. Thank you, Google Answers and Investopedia, for giving me that answer without clicking into your ads. What? Yeah, they're outdated. Yeah, no, I actually ran across that. They grab information based on an algorithm, but like, how do you detect what a user found useful? I guess unless they rate it somehow. Maybe it's a like, I do like how Google Answers will scoop the middle of a YouTube video for you just to get you to the good part. Like it'll send you to a YouTube video at 2 minutes and 38 seconds because that's where Buddy talks about how to restart your weird furnace that runs on natural gas for some reason. I have a natural gas furnace. It's a whole to do. They're much more complicated than regular furnaces. Yeah, they are. They're like normal furnaces, except nobody has any of the parts to run them. Natural gas. Oh man, why was that so funny? All right. I've got my new sort of more complicated barcode that I think is going to service this project better. That's many more bytes of information that you can scan. So, I mean, we're going to need to sort of provide that to product owners. We're going to have to partner with companies on this thing because, you know, why would they use our barcodes, right? Or maybe we don't need our own barcodes. Well, I mean, we could, and partnering's not off the table, but I see what you're saying. Yes. No, I get it. Exactly. If you're a transparent company, you'll be on board, or we'll fuck you on Twitter, is what we'll do. You're instantly like 100 on the corruption scale. What do you have to hide? Okay. We can even... That's the hard road. Well, we do want to impose our sort of like might eventually in terms of busting corruption in these corporations. I mean, take a company. Take a company. I'm sure that an executive at some point in time has done something horrendous that you want to know about. You know, and you get links to articles. Maybe it's like sort of like maybe it's like a true crime sort of creative presentation. You know, the creative brief. I know I'm thinking way ahead, but we only have 2 hours here. But maybe the creative brief is like, you know, very sort of noir, very sort of like, you know, uh, smoky detective, you know, murdered person in an alley. That's like the vibe. So I guess it does look nice. Yeah, I mean, I think that's what we do on the show is throw stuff down so we can talk about it. Because if we were to really design this, it would be like a several month thing, 6 month project cycle, 2 months of design. What do we call? We've forgotten the most fun part of this whole thing is what is it called? I haven't even hit on that in my mind yet. I want it to be very direct. Like it should speak about what it does. Maybe like scan buster, corrupt.io. Um,
I've been on.
so sort of like
When do we come
a
back
sort of like
on?
a hacker blackout kind of Guy Fawkes thing. Is that what you're thinking?
I've been on mute since we came back from break. How do I keep doing this? Maybe it'll be one
You've
of the
been on
times the
mute
mute
since we came
button.
back from break?
Yeah. Maybe it'll be one of the times the mute button doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, that's a solid 25 minutes of content right there.
It's some rough. I gotta stop pressing that button.
Oh, that's a rough one.
I have really bad luck with this mute button.
Oh, all right, so shall we continue?
Yeah, I might as well. I mean, I don't know if I said anything. God damn it.
I've just been there's a couple people that think I've just been talking at myself while I make this the whole time. I'm working two mice, one with each hand.
I pressed that and I'm like, there's no way I'm gonna not hit mute this time.
Maybe hold on. Let's take a hard pause here and take a look at the stream.
That's a good thing. I don't even know how I noticed it to begin with. I looked down and I saw red. What's this button?
Oh, now you're muted as fuck as the day is blue. All right.
Well, all right.
That's fine.
So that's
going.
a problem to solve. I got to figure out how to not keep doing that. There's got to be a better
tape
way.
it down. Tape it down.
Oh, I'll just never use the button. I'll just never press it.
So what are we gonna call this thing?
What are we gonna call it? I've got some kind of like, for some reason my brain went to like some kind of dating app type thing, like hot or not, but like corrupt or not, but that's obviously bad.
I have corrupt.scan up here, and I've also put a strike through on it because I feel like that's compelling.
Kind of an edgy brand.
Branding. Yeah, I kind of want it to be a little more, I guess I'm just wireframing this, so I want it to be like really obnoxious, very hackers with that one with Angelina Jolie in it from 2000. I'm gonna say 3. 1995. Damn,
What is
yo.
it?
Talk
Is it
about
called
hoping nobody
Hackers?
heard that. Hackers with Angelina Jolie. You've never seen that movie? It's classic.
If I do, if I have, it's
It's all like hold up, I'm gonna crack the web
yeah.
kind of stuff.
I don't know if I have. It would have been out before. When it came out, I wouldn't have been. I wouldn't have watched it. So, it, yeah, I guess I haven't seen it.
Hmm.
Huh. Hmm.
How old was I in 1995? I was
10,
11,
11. I was 12.
19. Okay, so we're gonna scan a barcode. I think we should get UI right on the camera, which I think is a fun idea I've never seen before. You open the app, you're instantly able to scan a barcode, but you also have like options like log in, create account. Right? Are you there? Did
Yeah,
you mute again?
yeah. Or maybe what I should do is patch the because I'm talking to you in my headphones. But if I was talking to you via this mic, you'd know if I was muted, at least,
Yeah.
because you wouldn't be able to hear me. I'll just never press the button again. I just like it for work because I want to be like extra muted.
Yeah,
I
totally. You
want
want to
two
be
mute
totally.
buttons.
Yeah, I hate the idea of I still even after an entire pandemic's worth of Zoom meetings, I can't stand hitting the mute button. Like I still want to double make sure. Like have you ever said like under your breath like can anyone hear me? Like just to triple
Yeah, I've done
check.
like just like touching
Yeah.
stuff.
See if anyone pays attention. Yep, totally. Got to know. My son is doing online learning right now, and he's in grade 2, and it's just an absolute unmitigated shit show. What
Oh,
what those children have to do and what the teachers have to put up with.
I imagine. Like, do they have to do more work? Just because,
Not
like,
really. I would say they have to do less. It's actually pretty accessible. I mean, not for everybody. My kid has a laptop. Like he's got a Chromebook and he's able to participate in everything and then like do assignments online with the tools that they have available. But unless you have that, it's a mess. And it's like 20 kids in a room and this woman's trying to wrangle them. And they're all on chat. Here's the funny thing. They're all in like spamming chat.
oh my God.
Like they're just like but and 1,000 exclamation marks. And the teacher's trying to like ask them not to do that. And they all have avatars like Fortnite avatars and shit. And
Oh,
it's
that's
so
not
great.
cool.
It's so great. But I feel bad for the teacher for sure.
It's got to be rough. What's
Oh,
grade
it's gonna
two?
be
What do you
rough.
learn in grade two? What do you learn in school anyway that you need? Like times tables? I don't remember
There's
learning anything
stuff, but
else.
yeah,
Spelling?
it's a social experiment. You
That's
learn how to wake up at 9 and work until 5, I think,
yeah.
ultimately. And you learn how to be a social individual. You learn how to, like, group dynamics and how not to be an asshole and how not to get punched in the face and, all that good
Hmm.
stuff.
I think that's the important part, and it's like I guess it's maybe they're some a little bit social, but that's rough. Because yeah, what else are you
High
doing? They're
school's
not. It's not
valuable.
like he's university like prepping right now.
You eventually get to that, but I mean, I always joke, we in Canada have to take, at least where we are anyway, you have to take a certain amount of French class when you're growing up. And I always joke that the most important thing I learned in French class was how to draw, because that's where I did all of those things. And it benefited me greatly, right? Because it led to a whole career of doing
Interesting.
not that I'm an illustrator, but I work in a creative field, and that's where I started to think about those things when I was a kid.
La Francais.
Getting deep on the high there, show. Corrupt.scan. I want to scan a
I suck at
barcode.
French. I went to school in a rural town.
Yeah, true.
So it's like,
I know what town you came from, and you're probably not allowed to speak French there.
No, you
Well,
wouldn't.
it's 2021. They're probably okay with French at this point.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to do it though. Still. Uh, you know what? We're just gonna go like this.
Yeah, I'm just putting some buttons. I'm putting some buttons in here.
I'm trying to see if I can.
So you get UI, you open the app, you can log in, you can sign up. I don't know. There's probably better buttons there. I don't know what you want to CTA the user to.
We'll figure it out.
Hey, Ian, do you know what CTA means?
CTA? What does it
Do you
mean,
even
Nick?
know? Craft the action.
I I I was working with someone recently that didn't know what it meant, I think.
Yikes. That's a tough one.
And then
CTA,
and then it's
I
like they
guess, well,
didn't.
I feel like we should not be assholes and explain this for everybody who is listening, but CTA stands for call to action. And that's where in marketing, ads, websites, apps, anything, when the app is asking you to do something or go somewhere, that's a CTA.
Yeah. And I mean, kind of like even calling it like if you don't know what it is, saying it's a call to action. You're like, what? A call to
I'm
action.
calling you to act.
Kind of
That's
a
how it always
weird
makes
thing
sense.
if you think about it.
It's like a call to arms.
Yeah, that's what I was
Is why
thinking.
it sounds weird.
I'm trying to make a 90-degree. Oof. I wish there was a way to make this. I can't draw. I can't even use a computer app to draw a straight line. There we go.
A computer
A
app.
computer app. We should go on that app ideas thing and just very be like explicitly detailed and just describe Reddit. Like a thing where people can post stuff and comment on it, and they can do upvotes and
You can
downvotes, and
join groups. You can,
and
yeah,
you get points based
content.
on the number of people that vote your thing.
Yeah,
And see
based
if anyone
on
says, dude, that's Reddit.
upvotes and downvotes.
Be pretty
Probably not.
funny.
Although I was sorting by new. There are actually like solid app ideas, but they're like, I don't know. It's like stuff like a version of Google Maps where you can see where all the public washrooms are. And it's like, yeah, that's cool. And a lot of people upvoted it, but that's a tremendous amount of data that you
Well,
have
where
to
do you get
gather.
that
That's not an
data?
app idea. That's not an app idea. That's like an aggregate data set for an app that already
Well,
exists.
speaking of toilet paper, there's a company that's had this app for probably 10 years, if it still exists, and it's called Sit or Squat, and it's an app by Charmin. I'm going to see if I still have it. And it does
Okay.
exactly what you say. Well, it needs an update, so it still exists. It lists
Do you
public
know in
washrooms, and people can rate them. So you rate them as either sit or squat. So if it's sit means it's clean, you can actually sit on the toilet. Squat means you don't want to touch your bare ass on that thing.
But that's pulled from users, right? Like a user would
Yes,
have to put that.
exactly. Yeah, and I'm willing to bet that you know they threw a bit of money at it and maybe primed the pumps a bit and somehow paid. They probably got some, either did like a aggregate search and scraped data, or got people to like submit stuff. Something, you know what I mean? Like, because yeah, the app would suck.
I feel like what it would take is Google says, "Hey, there's interest in that." When you register your business with Google Businesses and get on maps and stuff like that, is that there's a checkbox that says we have a publicly available washroom. And if you forced businesses to enter that information,
Hmm.
well, then Google Maps just has that data set. Because that's where all that information gets generated, is like you're a company and you're like, I have a sandwich shop. I want to make sure people can find me on Google Maps. So you sign up for the account, you give them all your business info. If there was, you could put any info on that form.
Hmm.
Is there a washroom? Is it wheelchair accessible? They don't, though, which is pretty lame. But,
Oh, well,
you know.
I'm looking at it right now. I wonder. Oh, is it there? Because in Halifax, there's like a secret the secret washroom you go to is the Marriott Hotel
The
down on the
secret
water.
wash.
I guess this is the
No shit.
easiest way to do it.
Oh, the Marriott down on the water, definitely.
Yeah,
The
you
hotel
walk in like
in
a
our very
king.
small city. Yes, we're in a huge bay. There's a huge bay. It's the what is it like the second biggest shipping port in North America or
Yeah,
whatever?
it's
But
like a big natural. It's a damn good harbor.
it's a good.
Natural as
It's
fuck.
a fucking good
It's
harbor.
fucking. It's might be second only to like California, one of the California ones. But anyway,
The Franciscos.
the Francisco.
If the Franciscus. Oh, you're holding something up to the camera. Sorry, I'm watching the stream. Um, yeah. There's a hotel on the waterfront, and they have really nice washrooms. And when you're downtown, boozing about in your 20s, there's a washroom in there that's really good.
And it's a hotel, so
And
it's like
nobody says anything.
people are walking in and out, so they don't know you're not a guest. They suspect.
Yeah, you're
by
like,
the
I
way,
stayed here. Like,
by the way that I
break.
looked and carried myself, they knew I wasn't a guest there. But what are they gonna do? They take the chance? What if I'm just I could be like a famous.
You could be a famous anything. You could be a famous
Could be a
cartographer.
Yeah.
You could be a
Musician.
flutesman. You could be like an orchestral sort of.
Yeah,
You
a
know,
maestro.
you could be a
Conductor.
maestro. You could be an operatic sort of guy. You could be like a sort of the stationary bar gymnasts in the Olympics. They don't fucking know. Are you drunk or are you just drunk on success? Sickening.
Excuse
Anyway,
me?
so that's the bathroom. That's the bathroom all the youth in our city use. Okay, I'm up here mocking stuff up. You would scan a barcode, and a barcode entry is found. There's probably a lot of offshoots there, like barcode entry not found.
Yeah, I know. That's what Let's do the happy path. But as like, what happens if it isn't found? What happens if there's multiple? But let's pretend.
we're a 2-hour YouTube show. We're gonna pretend that things are
Pretend it
streaming
works.
along, and that the audience understands that hey, this is not how you would do things in a professional setting with a budget.
Well, we'd figure out. I mean, we want the main stuff, right? Well, normally we would go and figure out like really dig into it. But wow, what do we scan it and then we get some stuff. We get like a corruption score and some info.
You get some stuff. Maybe this light background's not the best for that presentation, but the barcode entry is found. I want to see a picture. I want to be face to face with the person that is burning down the forests.
I want a CEO. Yeah, and I want the
buying.
logo too to make sure I got the right company.
Yeah, and I want to. I mean, this reference is going to be lost on most people, but I want like Metal Gear Solid. Sort of like there's like a picture and there's like a lot of mini text, swirling about. And there's some
giant
like
number,
info.
big scary red. Maybe it's like a number that changes color.
Yeah, and so
red is bad.
Oh man, I deal with this a lot. Color coding. This is a good UX discussion. I would love to have with you some evening over drinks. Color coding in UX is really problematic because of accessibility issues, but it's so fucking convenient, right? Like bad is red and good is green, and everybody who can see those like understands it. But for people who can't see those colors, which is kind of a staggering amount of people, not that they can't see the color, but that there's contrasting issues where they don't make sense. Kind of gets problematic, or relying on a color to denote
so it's like
the weight of a value is difficult, because there's people who, I mean, they look at the color red and it just looks like fucking gray, and it's something like 15% of people are red green colorblind. Hold on, I pulled that stat out of my ass. It is 10 to 11 at night, so but it is a spooky number. So anyway, I struggle with that personally because it works, it makes sense. But if you look at video games, you don't see it a lot.
I think I wonder if you would. That's interesting. I wonder if you could say, in this case, the color is like a progressive enhancement where the number gives you the info. If you get the color too, cool, that helps. but it's not needed. It's just like,
Well, so usually what I've landed on, I had one client that was just, I guess I can say this because I'm not specifying anything, but in the last 2 years, that was like, everything's colors. It's got to be colors. It's got to be colors. And I was trying to wise them up to like, what's contrasting issues are tough. You can't rely on colors to tell the story. You have to do other things. Sorry, I'm vamping.
no, I agree. You shouldn't like the color. You shouldn't have to see the color.
So what I would do in this case is, yes, we can have a color digit because that's helpful. But I would say we need to assign iconography to it. So it's not 86. 86 fits in a bracket of iconography. That also helps tell that story. So there's context clues like how this number was generated and what the app does and stuff like that. But if you can associate sort of a secondary visual with it, that's so much more descriptive for people. Not to get too serious on this like wacky idea that we're mulling up here.
Oh, but I want to know how it works. So yeah, I like that.
I want to know
what's the opposite of a skull. What would be a happy face?
I'm looking at puppies.
Oh yeah, okay.
A puppy?
Yeah, Ian.
He's a puppy. That CEO, I shouldn't have said he, they. They're a puppy. They're just like they're a good guy.
Yeah.
Puppy icon. I'm just Googling that. Maybe it's a paw print. I'm going to go with paw print. Well, toe beans is what we'll say.
All right.
This guy's a whole toe beans.
The tough one is, well, 50 out of... Does this... I don't know why, but in my brain I was thinking this goes to, it's a scale out of 100. But that there's no...
100 is a good value to think of. Here's what I would do. And this is so top level thinking is... I would say it goes to 100, but you don't explicitly say that to anyone because in the future you may need to go to 150. Like you may want to have like very bad people, or what if people are one-upping like how shitty they are?
Exactly.
The guy from Nestle bulldozed, a Colombian forest and forced all these people out of their home for a bit of fresh water that you can buy in a plastic jug, but this guy over here. From Costco and Kirkland, I don't know what they did to get the toilet paper. Horrible things, maybe on another planet that we don't even know about, and that's what they're doing there. So you're gonna want to have a scale, but you want to let the scale expand. I think is what I'm saying.
Yeah, because if it's a scale, then it's kind of relative to each other, which is, I think, good to know.
And then it has to be relative forever. But the user, I mean...
Well, they have to know what
users.
They have to know if the number is what it means.
The user, I think, needs to see movement in the number. So this number is higher than that number, and now it's red, and there's a skull, therefore bad. And when they see a number that's higher than the one that they see, they'll understand that it's worse. Do you know what I mean? Like, we don't need to get too explicit in terms of what a value means. You just need to show them values and let them react to it.
I kind of think
that's sort of treating users like sheep, and I know that that's not a very empathetic way to think. But when you play, say, World of Warcraft, and this is, I mean, don't get it twisted. I'm coming at it like this is a gamified app because there is this score here. But when you play World of Warcraft, like the numbers just fucking go up. They just go up forever, and that's the satisfying part.
Okay. This actually maybe and maybe if somehow Blue Sky, if we're able to pull in like here's the reasons that this rating exists. It reminded me of this plugin I have for my browser. Let me drag it in here. It rates websites on like privacy.
You're like. It rates CEO based on their corruption. It's like,
actually, I've been using this app for years. I don't know. I never thought about it.
It's made by Honey. It's made by Honey. I heard Mr. Beast yelling at me about it on YouTube. He does their ads anyway.
Mr. Beast. So this thing. So what this is doing is like, so it gives your website a grade, letter grade,
privacy grade,
and I think D is the lowest. And then, but then it gives you these reasons about like why is it bad. So the connection's encrypted. That's good. I'm blocking the trackers, so there's no trackers. But there's something about privacy practices. Damn, I should have clicked into that. It's almost like, why did this get a D? And
Well, because it's YouTube, and I can't imagine companies more likely than YouTube or Google
yeah,
specifically to siphon information off of you. Like, holy fuck, that should be like D with a flaming background
I
on
mean
it.
they're
Like
an
the worst D.
advertising
D
company.
plus.
YouTube's an advertising company.
Top tracking offenders: Facebook and Google. Imagine that. Apple, Facebook, and Google.
So that, yes, this is kind of give you some more info here. So it does this. What is this even? Helps you deal with takedown notices. I don't even know what that means. Oh, we're on studio.youtube. Oh,
broader than necessary. Reduction of legal period for cause of action. Cool.
I don't even know what that
User
means.
needs to check device fingerprinting.
Interesting. Oh yeah, the device fingerprinting is. So this actually
Oh yeah.
So this is getting
totally
pulled
YouTube
from a site.
is so famous for dealing with takedown notices. By the way, they're so great at dealing with DCMA takedowns that are unnecessary. More commentary. YouTube.
So this is funny
Sorry,
enough.
go ahead.
This is pulling from a site that kind of. So I think it's user generated, but it's called TOSDR. It's like terms of service didn't read. It basically, it's humans doing the work, but they take the terms of service for websites and like actually break it down and be like, this is actually what's inside of this.
And it, as always, says some my demographics, some my purchase history.
Yeah, I was about to. Some of the stuff's
some
weird.
Contacts, like it's almost like it's standard at this point. Like I know what I'm giving up.
I'll glance at stuff sometimes. I was about to order food from a local restaurant. I won't call them out because they don't know probably, but they used
a local restaurant.
A local restaurant. I was going to patronize their services, and I was using. They have a website with some third-party, service for the ordering, and I was having trouble with the sign up part or the checkout part, and it was
like, hey, we
there was something about
before we can complete this transaction.
Well, no, it said like we by ordering from this restaurant, you agree to let this other company take your info and sell it. Like it basically said, like we're gonna take if you click this button, we take your email address and sell it. It explicitly said that. So I was like, I can't order.
There's a third party in there going to these DoorDash restaurants and saying like, "Hey, we'll set up your presence on here. We'll help you consult.
I think that
get you moving on DoorDash, but you need to sign this thing that says we're going to take all your purchase info."
It wasn't even DoorDash. It was some weird. It was called like restaurantorder.biz. It was some weird sounding one. And when you go to their website, they literally don't even have a website. It's just like, we're a company. But yeah, I thought that was really strange. It was like, by purchasing this, you agree to be sent promotional materials from like other companies. And I'm like, I do not agree to that. They probably don't know it's there.
It's the 2021 version of someone sticking a pizza flyer in your mailbox.
It's like you can't just buy food.
Yeah, that's a pain in the ass. No, I just want to buy food.
There wasn't an opt-out either.
I can totally see companies coming in and saying like, "Hey, let's form a partnership. We're going to help you navigate the muddy waters of selling your food online, but in return, we're going to take all your data and sell it to, I don't know, Facebook, and then they weave it all together, and I get cat food ads when I need cat food." It's kind of how it all shakes out. I was reading an interesting thing the other day that was talking about, I know we've moved away from design here, and I do think that we should pick this design up another evening, maybe Saturday this weekend.
We're getting on a roll here.
No, this would be good after hours because we're coming up on 11 here. But it was the idea that your phone's recording you, and this thread was from a privacy consultant that was saying like, look, that's like inconceivably untrue. But the metrics that they're collecting about you that aren't the things you're saying to your friends are much more powerful and scary. And here's what they are. And it's your purchase history at the grocery store. It's your Google account and your Facebook account and your Instagram account and all of those things speaking to each other all the time
Yeah,
creates like a spooky, accurate profile about you.
it's scary how they can predict, because yeah, it's I mean, there are a lot of apps that do have permission to use your microphone, but they're not
Mm-hmm.
always, if you don't have the app open, I don't think they can do it. So yeah, I mean it seems a lot like, it seems like it's happening because you say something and then the next day you see an ad for it, but two things are happening there. One is that you're noticing that ad because you just talked about it. You
Because you're
you
kind of looking for it because you
it
just
was in
talked
your
about it.
head already, so you're like noticing it. It wasn't because you talked about it. It's just because you talked about it. It's in your head, so you're gonna recall it. But the other thing is like, yeah, these algorithms are so good. They don't need to listen to your microphone. They know what you're going to want tomorrow before you know you want it. Like they already know what you're
Yeah.
gonna do. They know what you're gonna think tomorrow and do.
The purchase history thing, like through a company like Loblaws in Canada sells us all our groceries. So you buy cat food, and you buy cat food every 2 weeks, and you have a points program with them. So your name and your address, which they can correlate across other networks, now buys cat food every 2 weeks. So on the 13th day of those 2 weeks, you're going to get competing advertisers trying to sell you cat food because you know that's when you buy it. It's spooky. I don't know. YouTube's free though. That's pretty good. I'm one of those people that doesn't care.
I don't like them to have my. I don't like giving stuff away that I don't have to.
Yeah, no. Did you know that social networks, if you don't have a profile with them, but they manage to scrape enough data with you, they'll create a shadow profile of you?
Yeah, yeah, it's weird. My dad has one,
Fucking spooky.
but he's like, "Why do I keep? What do
Spooky.
I keep getting these emails from Facebook for?" I'm like, basically just had the same conversation that we just had. I'm like,
I know, and
your
they
friends.
blink at
I'm
you.
like, because you're friends, and this is the thing. It's like, you know, if you, as an individual, you can decide. I mean, it's almost hard to live in society without these services, but you kind of, you're allowed to decide as an individual that I don't want to participate in this. Or you would think you'd be allowed to make that decision, but you don't. Like, other people make that decision for you. It's like my dad's friends like put his name into Facebook because Facebook's like, let us scan your address book and tell us who your friends are.
Yep.
Like
And
put your
you
friend's
have a
name in
few
here. So it's like,
people around your area, and they pull from their contacts, and yeah.
yeah, so it's like, tell us your friends' names and email addresses and where they went to high school, and they do that for you, um, or for
That
Facebook.
part's already done. How long until this technology gets used to build tiny robots that fix my body is what I want to know. I'm way on board. Take all my info, fix my body with little robots that
I
you
really hope that they
I
figure that
inhale.
out. At least if this is going to go somewhere, I hope it at least, yeah, I can get fixed. Like maybe they can like brush my
Get fixed
teeth.
internally. They've got little pincers, and they're rearranging, muscle fibers, and they're making me good. I want that. Ian, that takes us up to 11 o'clock. We get awfully serious at the end here, but that was a fun episode. I want to keep working on this scanner app this
I think,
weekend
yeah,
with a bit of renewed vigor.
we're on a roll with
But
this.
I feel like we're going to be looking at app ideas for a good long time.
I agree. Cool. Yeah, I'm stoked.
I
I want to keep going
agree.
on it. But yeah, folks,
Yeah.
you know, if you have any thoughts about what we're working on here, leave a comment. We want to hear about it, and we'll be here next week. And
Yeah.
join in. Fire us a message in the
Let us
chat.
know. Like and subscribe. If you're curious about what Ian was saying tonight, just email him for a transcription of his thoughts.
Oh yeah.
And otherwise, we'll see you soon. Like and subscribe. Help us out. Share with your friends. If you have web design, digital design friends, we'd love to hear from them. Ask us questions. Do everything. Interact with us until you feel a bit awkward. But we will return that favor.
We'll tell you anything you need to know about the secrets of the industry.
If you guys have a business, listen. If you listen to this show and you have a business, we will literally design all your stuff. Just let us do it live on air. That's all we're asking. Oh my God, how great would it be to have a client meeting live on YouTube? I want to do it so
I
bad.
do. I actually want to just pull out all the stops and.
I'm waiting for someone to be like, no, I need a website for my cupcake pop-up shop. And I'll be like, totally cool. If we can do it live on YouTube, we'll do it.
Yeah, I want to make myself vulnerable. Put it all out there. I'm
I
ready.
need a logo for my t-shirt business down at the market. Okay. We're at 11:05. Ian, thank you so much. Thank you to the listeners.
Thanks, everyone.
That's
Smash the
end of
like,
show.
subscribe, and we'll see you next week.
We'll see you next week, and have a good experience.
Have a good experience, Nick.